Well, I think he's still on a good number over in North America with his assistant coaching role. I think he's still doing that, so I don't see that changing for him now. But yeah, I know you will. But the point is, again, we need that kind of authoritative stay-at-home D-man, and whether the new guy fits that bill or not, I don't know. But certainly in terms of Burt, yeah, to me, he is definitely a forward rather than a D-man. Too much reliability in D, but very good coming forward, got a decent shot on him. And, so put him where he's less reliability, and who knows? Again, obviously I'm not a coach, but it stands to reason to me anyway that that's maybe worthwhile of a goal. But it's Tripper's shout at the end of the day. But
at the end of the day, though, John Tripp moved Grieveson up to play a few shifts forward rather than Cameron Burt, so he's obviously still got faith in him and playing him back there. So, and then people have said we've admitted I haven't seen the Clan play for a few games, so I'm hoping when I go back on Sunday against Guildford we see an improvement there. But yeah, there is no easy answer. I think, John, as far as I'm concerned, we just maybe didn't recruit the right guys, a couple anyway, and that's just the long and short of it for me. Ginger Paul. Have we turned one of the 50 odd corners we're supposed to have turned yet? No, that's my answer to that. We get a overtime loss to Sheffield for a basically dead rubber game, although it wasn't quite. It was almost there. We played well against a week in Belfast, but we still lost in overtime. We threw away a 3-goal lead. We went down to Sheffield and got embarrassed. And then we beat an Edinburgh team away from home who we've already beat twice this year, and everybody else is beaten for fun. There's no indication to me that we've turned any corner, Graham. I
would unfortunately tend to agree. And again, I go back to what I said earlier on. You're looking for signs of improvement. And yes, there's bits and pieces of it with certain players. There's certain players that are doing the business consistently, but just not enough of them. And yeah, as I said, just the whole thing as a unit's just not sparking. So, I don't think we've turned any corners yet. I think there's maybe a corner approaching, but whether or not we actually end up turning it or not, time will tell.
Yep. Scott Devon saying Burt is great going forward, creating lots of chances, but as a D-man doesn't suit him. Gutwald plays simple hockey, could be doing with another D-man like him. Stay-at-home D-man. So Scott Devon is quite impressed with Gutwald so far. We kind of touched on it. Let's see him playing against even Guildford being a better team, bigger challenge than Edinburgh. We'll see how he gets on over the next few weeks. Rusty, section end drummer, the Caps commentators. I have to say, one of the reasons I buy the Caps webcast when I don't go through the end was because I love the Caps commentator. The old guy is my favourite commentator in the whole league, because I've always said if I was doing it for the Clan, I'd be as biased as he is, and I just think he's hilarious. I mean, you guys must have heard him. You've got the webcast before.
Yeah, he's great. He's like that. Is it Pierre Maguire, the Boston guy?
No.
What's his name? Pierre.
Pierre Maguire's a Pittsburgh guy. He's
a Boston commentator.
I'm not even going to give you a hint with that because he's one of my favourite.
he's the only guy in the world worse than the Caps guy. I like the Caps guy. The problem is their play guy is really good. I think I like the guy calling the action. Then you've got the other Caps commentators like me, just a crabbit guy. raging at life, looking for something to moan about, and to be fair, he's on the right team for something to moan about. Really, it was either us or Edinburgh.
even the Caps, Jack Edwards, there you go, was saying that the Clan deserved to win, and how poor Edinburgh were on Sunday. So, I mean, even though he's an absolute homer, he was totally disgusted with him on Sunday.
Well, you can't blame the guy for being a homer. It's the way it is, isn't it? Most commentators are going to be biased for the teams they're called, especially people who do it all the time. I can't listen to commentators like that for the most part. The Toronto commentator, Joe Bowen, is the absolute worst commentator in the world because he starts screaming and shouting, and then it turns out they've got the puck in their own D zone. It's like, what are you doing? Just tell me what's happening instead of getting overexcited about everything. So I'd rather have like a guy I don't know. Who's a good commentator? I can't think any.
Jackie Edwards.
Oh, I'd rather have a guy like the Cap play-by-play guy just calling the action as it is rather than, getting overexcited at everything. Though I suppose the old guy doesn't get excited at anything, so there's that, I suppose.
Graham, you want to mention anything to
No, I'm like you. I'm a big fan of the Edinburgh Caps commentary team. I was tweeting about it on the other night. Just hilarious. And things like when the drum started and he was apologising to the listeners for the sound, but it was clearly only him that was really, really bothered by it.
Yeah,
and he did it once they say, I can do without this.
Yeah.
it's classic.
Yeah. And I'm tweeting Rusty to drum louder as well.
So yeah, he's a complete homer from that point of view, and we can forgive him that. Listen, it's great entertainment, as you say. The play-by-play guy is great, so I think the combination of good commentary with completely biased Crabbit colour commentary that goes with it is terrific. So yeah, it's probably the only reason I buy the webcast.
Moving on, Patrick Smith from our friends over at A View from the Bridge wants us to talk about Brexit. That'll just result in me and Graham coming to blows because we're probably politically opposite poles, so it'll just we're talking about other things. We'll just skip the Brexit talk.
Well, you think Brexit's good? I think it's crap, and off we go.
I think you got it the wrong way round.
Nice question.
Okay, the recent Neil MFC88, the recent improving play of Cameron Butt. Cameron Butt's a recurring theme here. Weaker opposition or a player who was worthy of the A, player playing for his job, question mark. We're just, I don't know, people say they're seeing an improvement in him, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. I'm kind of, I feel as if, we've never really been a podcast to kind of go on about players individually. I feel as if Cameron, again, I said it earlier, I think Cameron Butt's getting, the raw end of the stick. There's other D-men who I don't think are doing a particularly good job either. It's just he sticks out because, he is trying to make plays and making them, he's getting caught out a few times. We'll move on. Stu Lou, can we start getting them to sell Bovril at the arena? Still too scunner to talk about the actual hockey. I mean, a lot of people are like that at the minute. And again, this is what we talked about 2 weeks ago. People really getting fed up with it. I don't even think it's so much in terms of you can take the team having an off game, having an off season even. I think it's just been other things round about it that people are getting a bit fed up with, but it's not something I really want to get into at the moment. David Hall, a kind of more general question, not a clan subject this year anyway, but do you think Brit teams care more about the CHL than the Euro ones, and the Euro crowds usually look poor? Well, yeah, definitely from our experience playing Vekwa and how little the crowd was when we played them. The Swedish teams certainly, and the Russian teams aren't in it. The Swedish teams in sort of bigger leagues don't take it quite as seriously, I think. It's a big deal for us. When we got in there, we took an awful lot of people over to Sweden and Germany, and I think it is just the way it is. It's not like the equivalent of a football European Cup Champions League type thing, because the golf and financial power is just so great, Graham. It's just never going to even be anywhere close to it, really, is it?
No, it's a shame. It must be disappointing for the CHL because obviously they put a lot of work into promoting it as a whole competition. I mean, obviously the Panthers game against Zurich the other night, I was watching it with my brother and he's not into hockey, but he said to me, he says, how come they're playing in front of an empty arena? Now, obviously there were fans there, but it had the look of and the sound of an empty arena. So, yeah, looking at that, it's not very impressive. But like you say, we know from talking to our friends from Vekwa that, as you say, it's not something that's a top priority until they get to the semi-final or the final, in which case it starts to become a bigger deal. But, CHL is still a relatively young competition, and I think they're making a decent job of trying to move that thing forward. And, I think they need some kind of proper TV deal, I would suggest. But, again, it's down to individual clubs. And if all your money is invested to, have the league success and that's where all your money comes from, then, unfortunately it's just going to be one of these lower priorities.
Yep. I think the problem is when you're Vecqua, we'll take them, or Frölunda is an example, who are playing in what's considered like the third best league in the world. The prospect of playing Braehead Clan probably isn't that exciting, So, especially as you said, Graham, the preliminary stages are not going to be too thrilled about. Oh, Braehead Clan are coming. Who are they? Don't know. Right, cool. We'll beat them and then move on. Obviously, they're going to enjoy the away game a bit more because they can get out and about. But I think, as you said, for the home game, it's just not really a big priority for them like it is for us, because we were seeing Ingolstadt and Vecqua, who are like a standard of hockey that you wouldn't normally see in our league. So, yeah, I mean, that's fond memories I have of those games. But it's just the way it is just now, and with a young tournament, they'll need to build up, as you said, just into a bigger atmosphere, a bigger competition than it is just now. And maybe in 5-10 years it will be different, but I can't see the bigger teams' attitudes towards the earlier stages changing anytime soon.
To me, the only way it's going to really move forward is if they can entice the KHL to get involved, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Obviously, they've been making overtures to the KHL for basically since the CHL started. But until that happens, if they've managed to bring the KHL teams, I think you'd find the overall attitude by the fans as well as the teams would change markedly. But until that happens, it's not going to happen, I don't think.
No, and I don't get me wrong, I had a great time when I went over to Germany to watch the Clan play in Ingolstadt. It was fabulous. And to give the German fans their due, they turned up in numbers as well. And the atmosphere, the whole thing they put on before it in the park, we were there all day, and it was just, it was something, I wouldn't forget. And, it was days, that was when we had a team. Never mind. Who's this? Colin Shearer saying, could there be a Brit change at the Clan? And he's talking specifically about Barry McKenzie and Craig Peacock. I don't think so. Barry McKenzie has always wanted to be here. I don't think, unless anything's changed, that, we haven't spoke to him for a while now, actually. The last time we spoke to him was just after he signed, and he said he always wanted to be here. Craig Peacock, again, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Where's got space for a Brit at the moment? I don't see anything changing before the end of the season as far as Brits are concerned. I don't know if any of you two think any different.
Well, more to the point, I don't particularly want to lose either of them.
No, I think
Peacock's been okay, and I think Mackenzie's acquitted himself really well. So I'm happy to keep both of them right now. We've got far bigger issues than our Brits.
Yeah, definitely. Connor, we have 5 league games in November. Should the expectation be to win them all, and are they all must-win games? No. Basically no chance. For a team playing the way we've been playing, to go on a 5-game, what have we got? Let's see, Nottingham, we talked about Nottingham, Guildford, then the following weekend we've got Dundee at home. Now that'll be interesting to see how we match up against Dundee this season. Milton Keynes away. We know the last time we went down there we lost. And then the following weekend, end of the month, Edinburgh. Well, you'd like to think we can take 2 points for Edinburgh at the end of the month. But, I don't know about Dundee. They get a good result at the weekend. Milton Keynes away have already beaten us. Nottingham, albeit that's Challenge Cup. We did beat them once down there, I suppose. But, I just don't... They're must-win games in as much as we need to get a run going, but I just can't see us winning 5 games. Graham, can you?
I'm going for full points as I normally go for. Nah, okay, I need to change my tune, obviously. No, like you say, Guildford. Let's see how we get on against Guildford. So I'm not bothered about the Nottingham game. Let's see how we get on against Guildford. That'll be the first proper test, and at home, good result. If we get, I say a good result, that's like any kind of win that gets us 2 points.
1-0 will do.
Exactly. I think we'll all settle for that. And, we are at that stage. If, however we get wins, it doesn't matter how, we just want to get the wins. And we just, as a kid, and for about the 6th time already in this show, I'm going to say again, we just want to see some sign of improvement. If we see sign of improvement, there's something to latch on to. If this team has any ambition at all to make the playoffs, which might sound a bit strange and a bit weird given the way things are at this moment in time, but if we have any ambition at all towards making the playoffs, and I mean the finals weekend, then that kind of improvement needs to start now, and hopefully we can start seeing it. There's still time to do it, but we really need to see things moving forward from here.
I'm really intrigued by the Dundee Stars game the following week as well, after the Guildford game at home, because we really haven't seen how we match up against them this year. If we don't match up well with Dundee, we could well finish third in the Conference of 4, because we certainly Fife have got our number, haven't they?